Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of News from Around the World, brought to you by the Dauphine International News Team. My name is Alex and I'll be hosting this edition for you. Here are the topics we will be presenting today. Starting off in Asia, India and China are fighting over Nepal. In Europe, Poland's conservative ruling Law and Justice Party, the PIS, won the majority in the country's parliamentary election. In Germany last week, a neo-Nazi shot 2 people dead outside a synagogue and wounded several others, resulting in thousands protesting in Germany this past weekend. Moving down to North Africa, Tunisian elections resulted in a landslide victory for Kais Saied. And finally, Marmite haters beware. The brand is on the lookout for those who despise it the most and have created a strange new campaign to convert you, with hypnotism. So, let's take a closer look at these news items. Last Saturday, Nepal rolled out the red carpet for China's President Xi Jinping, as it was the first Chinese state visit in 23 years. In order to prevent unwanted protests, some Tibetans in Nepal were rounded up in advance of the visit. Xi had recently finished talks in India, historically a major ally of Nepal's, on China's Belt and Road Initiative. India remains wary of the initiative, claiming violations of sovereignty, since parts of the initiative affect areas of Kashmir claimed by India. Recently, China has pumped millions of dollars into Nepalese infrastructure projects. 20 memorandums of understanding were signed to facilitate the latter. A possible trans-Himalayan railroad connecting China to Nepal also has India concerned that it lose its foothold. So the country, also known as Bharat, is now planning a 78-kilometre cross-border oil pipeline with Kathmandu. Human rights organisations also worry that Nepal and China will sign an extradition treaty, allowing followers of the Dalai Lama who promote Tibetan independence to be extradited and prosecuted in China. Closer to home, Poland's ruling PIS party has won last week's general election with 44.6% of the vote. Once results are confirmed, the PIS should have an outright majority of 239 seats in the 460-seat lower house, the Sejm, Poland's main legislative body. Over 30 million voters participated in the choice of lawmakers in the Sejm and in the 100-seat Senate. However, main opposition parties are still hoping to win enough support to form a coalition government, including the centrist Civic Coalition, the KO, the Democratic Left Alliance, the SLD, and the Christian Democrat Agrarian Polish People's Party, the PSL. 2 things they have in common are a pro-EU stance and a promise to undo controversial PIS institutional reforms. The PIS was the first post-communism party to break with austerity, wielding free market policies that transformed a waning economy into one of Europe's most dynamic. Just over the border in Germany, a terrorist attack at a synagogue in the small city of Halle left 2 dead and many wounded, triggering protests across the country. Though a police presence had been requested, the German government had turned it down, so the security system was mostly cobbled together. The attacker was identified as 27-year-old Stefan Balliet from Berndorf, about 20 miles away. He attempted to use handmade weapons fashioned from wood, piping, steel and plastic to enter, but fortunately the door was locked. He then unsuccessfully tried to shoot open the door. Before being taken alive, he shot one woman who had begun shouting at him and another person at a nearby Turkish doner shop. Around 13,000 people protested in Berlin and over 2,000 in Halle, proving that widespread opposition still exists to the resurgence of anti-Semitic acts in Germany. In Tunisia, a relatively unknown conservative law professor raked in 70% of the vote to win its presidential election. He defeated a charismatic media magnate who had recently been released from prison. The post-revolution landscape in Tunisia has shifted thanks to the country's young voters. About 90% of 18 to 25-year-olds voted for Said, compared with 49.2% of voters aged over 60. Young people believe he will be a fair president and will eliminate corruption. His lack of charisma may even be advantageous, leading to a belief he is incorruptible and sternly civic-minded. He was dubbed Robocop because of his stiff manner and dour presentation. Choosing Said over better-known candidates reflects widespread unhappiness with Tunisia's flailing economy and the lack of economic reform. Said's major disadvantage is that he has no political party, so he could easily be isolated and made irrelevant, as he will need a 2/3 majority in parliament, and that will be difficult to attain. Finally, if you can't stand the taste of Marmite or have no idea what it is, then listen up. Marmite, made since 1902, has launched a competition to attract its staunch detractors, who will then undergo a unique mind control experience by watching a powerful hypnotic film to change their taste perceptions. Trained hypnotist Rory Z. Fulcher helped develop the campaign and will oversee the experiment. The contest was created to encourage Brits to stop making the same breakfast choices every single morning and incorporate more savoury options. Some nutritionists encourage reducing sugar consumption in the morning, which helps to prevent spikes in blood sugar levels caused by eating high sugar breakfasts that only provide fast, short-lasting energy. Marmite haters can apply online at www.marmite.co.uk/mindcontrol.html. A panel of lucky winners will be selected and will travel to London to participate in this strictly controlled programme. Those were our headlines for this week. We hope you found them interesting, and don't forget to check out more of our online content, which includes articles and in-depth analyses of current news-related topics. Among other content, this week's cultural focus covers the history of Columbus Day and Indigenous Day. We would like to take the opportunity to give our sincerest thanks to the 700 Dauphine students who have been using the DIN resources since September. This response has really been a great incentive for us to try and continue to offer you the best resources possible so that you can progress in English. And in order to do just that, we'll be here next week with more news items from Dauphine International News. Thank you for watching.